from abroad. It means that if you can't manufacture the fuel, then you don't have any ability to make the missiles fly. And so that was clearly what the Israelis did. So Israel can defend itself in the short term against whatever arsenal they still have, but they won't have the ability to replace that arsenal quickly.
Over the weekend, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, said the Israeli attack on his country should neither be downplayed nor exaggerated. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, more than 25 million people in the Democratic Republic of Congo are facing acute hunger, according to the UN. An Israeli airstrike in northern Gaza has killed at least 93 people, including 20 children, according to Gaza health officials. Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban is facing criticism from EU ministers over his recent visit to Georgia following its disputed elections. And the Pentagon says 10,000 North Korean troops have been sent to Russia, triple its previous estimate. That's the latest feature story news. Simon Gaitan reporting.
You're listening to KCHW 102.7 FM, Northern Lights Public Radio.
KCHW headlines. I'm Chuck Ritchie. More than 43 million Americans have voted early so far, both in person and by mail. In Washington, over a million voters have cast their ballots. 54% are registered Democrats and 36% are Republicans. Gas prices are heading for a 3-year low as the election nears. They're dipping below $3 a gallon in many parts of the country. Falling fuel costs typically lift presidential approval rates. Prices at the pump are now averaging $3.14 per gallon nationwide, within 8 cents of a 3-year low. Right here in Chewelah, Gas Buddy reports prices at the pump are at $3.65 per gallon. And paid family and medical leave premiums are going up in Washington. Starting in January, the program's premium rate will be 0.92% of an employee's gross wages, up from the current 0.74% rate. State law requires the program to recalculate the rate every year. The program allows workers to take paid time off if they have a serious health condition, if they're caring for family members, or if they have a new child. In our last story, a dozen states are getting behind Utah's lawsuit to take over millions of acres of federally controlled land. The lawsuit was filed with the Supreme Court in August. It questions whether the Bureau of Land Management can hold on to nearly 18.5 million acres of public land within Utah's borders, and argues that the BLM can't indefinitely hold on to land without giving it a designation like a national monument, national forest, or wilderness area. Now 12 states and a few state legislatures have signed amicus briefs with the nation's high court. More details on these stories are available on our Facebook page at KCHW Radio. For KCHW 102.7, I'm Chuck Ritchie.
Picking up a heavy, creepy vibe here.
Who dares enter the sacred and awesome presence of the everlasting know-it-all?
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7 getting started on a Tuesday for the morning show. Bringing in my sister live from Deer Park. Good morning, Val.
Good morning.
Whoop, whoop. All right, and me stuck in the state of Maine where winter has set in. We had our first snow day before yesterday.
Ooh.
Yes, and totally everything frozen this morning. It's all kind of crispy out there. Not ready for it.
No kidding. We have had maybe just a couple snowflakes. And I'm sorry, I was trying to pull up the weather and do it, but it keeps crashing my Firefox.
Okay.
So I'm sorry about that.
Well, I'll let you get reset up, and I'll roll out the weather. How's that?
That would be great. Yeah, it shoots my resources up to 95% of my memory as soon as I open that thing. So
you know why is because it when you go onto those weather pages, they have more ads than weather. And I've noticed the same thing on my computer. So I'll never ask you to do that again, Val.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have to pull it up on my phone or something for you next time.
Yeah,
So.
no worries. All right, weather forecast for today in Chihuahua looks real. When I looked at the camera up at the airport this morning, it looked real kind of foggy. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I could see from the camera. Anyways, maybe it's misted over. Partly cloudy for your day. Only a high of 50 with some light winds. Down to 30 tonight. Clouds and cold. For your Wednesday, 52 and 37 under partly cloudy skies. Halloween, 44 and 34 with morning light rain. That chance of rain at 73%. A side note, for over here on the East Coast, we're going to be the warmest Halloween on record.
Wow. So snow today and then.
Yep. Daytime high here is expected to be 65, a little bit warmer in some other East Coast places. But yeah, from a low this morning of 25 all the way up to 65 by Thursday. All right, your Thursday, as I said, 44-34 with a 75% chance of rain. In the morning, so by the time Boo Fest kicks in and the kids are out in the streets doing their trick-or-treating, should be fine. Friday, rain-snow mix, 45 and 34, 50% chance of precip. Right now, the weekend, morning showers on Saturday, 46 and 30. 47 and 27 for Sunday under partly cloudy skies with precip at 20%. And then moving on to Monday, 25% chance of rain again. It will be a mostly cloudy day, 45 and 31, and that takes you through your weather forecast. Kids for breakfast. Oh, I always get jealous when I do these. They have a choice of a variety of cold cereal, parfait, or breakfast on a stick. Also, super bakery bread will be available. And then for lunch on this Tuesday, it's chicken and cheese quesadillas, refried beans, and fruits and veggies. And we are all covered on that.
Whew. Ken said that he didn't have any pics yet, but I think maybe that was a minute ago because I can see us on Facebook.
I can see us. So
if you still can't see us, Ken, open your eyes.
That's what I was gonna say. Great minds think alike. Or maybe because we just know Ken.
Maybe that's it.
I kind of mentioned it, but a couple things off the community calendar. Story time for the kids today. Also tryouts, and I'm going to open this up and double check because I believe they're at the KCHW studios again, but I'm going to double check that. Tryouts for It's a Wonderful Life. All right. Now, these auditions are for a radio play, so you don't have to memorize the script. You'll get to hold it in your hand, which makes it a little easier. This is Center Stage Productions presenting a live radio play, It's a Wonderful Life. All right. It's going to be directed by Catherine Patton. Auditions are tonight, last chance. And it looks like they are going to be at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts, 405 North 3rd Street East is what it says on the flyer. So hopefully I have that right. If you go to the Center for the Arts and it's not there, it'll be at the studios of KCHW. 6:30 auditions tonight. Chihuahua Center for the Arts is what the poster says. All right, going to be fun. They'll be doing it at the radio station, and then they'll be doing it on stage at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts as well. So good time. All right. Moving along, we've got tech help at the library tomorrow afternoon. You've got the food bank open on Thursday, and Boo Fest on the streets as well for the kids to go trick-or-treat the local businesses. Of course, that's been going on for years.
I went out for the first time since the kids were little to Deer Park's Pumpkin Lane on Saturday. I swear there had to be 5,000 people on the streets. And I only went because my granddaughters came up from Spokane or from Coeur d'Alene to do it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I never have to do this again.
And I thought Boo Fest was crazy, but it does. It is. The streets are filled. Definitely.
It's like standing in line for a ride at Disneyland or something. I mean, it's crazy. We have to stand in this block-long line for a couple pieces of candy.
I noticed, Val, you sound down about it.
It was a busy day.
I liked our first till the businesses got in the swing of it. I remember our very first and maybe the second Boo Fest. We actually cleaned the town of Chihuahua out of candy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. All
But you
right.
probably don't. I feel like Pumpkin Lane has kids coming from Spokane and all the areas around. Does Tooele get a huge influx of people from out of town, or no?
I don't think so. And Deer Park's probably getting those huge numbers because they are so close to Spokane. I mean, it's an easy trip down there, and people think, oh, it's a smaller town, it'll be easier. But if you've ever driven through Deer Park when that's going on, it's a nightmare. So,
Yes, for sure.
All right. Our Boo Fest kicking off on Thursday, 3:30 to 5:30. Costume contest by the Tooele Creative District. They're on the corner. They're on Main Street. Best candy contest for the businesses. So who's giving out the best candy?
Ooh, I like that contest.
All right. And there are a ton of businesses supporting this and participating, even like on the edges of town, like out at Dollar General. Places like that, you know. So if you walk a little further down Main Street, Tooele Motel and RV Park, I should say 395. Let's see. And then we usually have like places at the golf course coming down and, setting up, but I don't see that on the map. For any special locations. If you want to see the map of where the businesses are, you can simply go to the Chamber website at Tooele.org, and there is a link there to Boo Fest. They've got the map for you and everything. The amount of businesses, it looks like at least 50. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody's in on it. What a good deal. All right, moving along this morning, few news headlines. Me and Val were discussing things before we started. Let's see, Portland and Vancouver, a couple towns that always lean left, so I would say this is targeted. Ballot boxes set on fire yesterday for the drop-off ballot boxes, which makes me say, if you can't convince anybody that the election was stolen, you might as well cheat and set some ballot boxes on fire, just to prove how scared you are.
Yeah. And I know this isn't, I mean, hopefully we don't see anything like that on this side of the state. But just know, like, if you were in a situation like that and you're like, did they receive my ballot? Was my vote counted? You can go to vote.gov, check your registration, and then I think you can go to your county site, and it will actually tell you
if you voted,
whether your ballot was received. So if you ever have a question about that, you're worried about the integrity of the election, you can check things like that. And I know they were saying last night on the news that they have that same feature in the counties in Washington that Vancouver is in, that you can go and check and make sure
all right,
that you weren't affected by that. But you would kind of think you would know if you had dropped your ballot at the boxes that were targeted, whether you maybe need to check that.
Sure. And so far, just I think it was 2 in Vancouver, 1 in Portland, or I might have that backwards. But gross. I mean, how scared do you have to be about results to resort to something cheating? And then they've got his car. There's cameras everywhere and Ring doorbells. The police are going to get you. So maybe you should leave America.
And what's interesting is you are destroying boxes from both sides of the voting, right?
Yeah.
On either end. It could be Democrats or Republican ballots that you're destroying. So maybe it's just an overall statement of their feelings about politics.
Oh, it could be. Just we don't want anybody. I have no choice. I'm going to destroy ballots.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Moving
I
on.
would think that's going to be a felony, though. You might not be voting ever again in your life.
Yeah. Well, is that kind of like tampering with mail?
But you're interfering with the outcome of an election. I mean, I'm sure it's a federal offense.
Sure. All right, Ken popped in on our while I was doing the community calendar and talking about the auditions for the play. He says he wants to be the Christmas tree, and It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, it's because he's always lit.
Wow, Val. Careful what you post on Facebook today. Val's going to come after you. Wow. All right. Other news headlines. Republicans urge the U.S. Supreme Court to block a Pennsylvania state court ruling that allows people who cast mail-in ballots with certain defects, which would not usually be counted, to vote provisionally. Federal authorities have warned state and local law enforcement agencies of the threat of extremists fueled by conspiracy theories.
who may incite violence at polling places, ballot drop boxes, and voter registration locations. You might not like it to say this, but there are a couple people that fuel all these conspiracy theories. One of them has orange hair, and one of them really likes the guy with orange hair and has blonde hair. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
And they are finding a huge amount of disinformation and propaganda being sent out by Russia, by Iran,
China.
all of these countries that have a vested interest in whether we end up with violence on the streets. For the rest of the world, that looks like our democracy is falling apart when you see those types of things. So they are really hoping to incite some sort of violence, these other countries, not even within our own country, but you've got these other countries sending out disinformation, making us question our elections, all of that, just to see what kind of chaos they can cause here. So don't let it happen, people.
It's sad because for over 200 years, we never questioned our elections.
Or if it was, I know that it happened when Al Gore ran. It was one state. He did concede once. There was a recount on the votes. But I feel like, we had the last election with Trump. What did he file? 60 some lawsuits claiming voter fraud, and only all of them were thrown out but one. And so when you've ran through the courts and there is no evidence of any type of significant voter fraud that affected the outcome of the election.
Why don't people trust that, Val? That's the question. Why don't people? Our laws have worked for hundreds of years now, and why don't people trust that the court said nothing happened? You can't take 60 courts and say they're all controlled by one party.
Right. And so we know exactly why people are questioning it, because you've got somebody using his platform every chance he gets to say the election was stolen from him. So, just do your research. There's no evidence of some sort of tampering, some sort of miscounting that would have changed the outcome of the election. And when you're asking for one of the state officials to find you just 11,768 votes, it's obvious that you're the one that wanted to tamper with the election.
And it's kind of strange that all of the tampering, as you were saying, Russia and Iran and China, it feeds right all back. These are all countries with dictators. Do I need to point that out?
And there's very simple ways to look at your own state and see what the different things they have in place to make sure that the outcome of the voting system is accurate. Especially since the last election, every state has gone overboard to make sure there's transparency in their voting processes, what they've done to ensure that your vote's safe, that only the right people, if that's what you want to say, or only true citizens are voting. There's so many methods, so many safeties in place right now that, if anything, I would say that our election, I don't feel like it was fraudulent last time, but there's no way this time I would think that you could claim that that there was
voter fraud.
wide spread voter fraud. So I just feel like there's so many people that really don't dig down and do their own research. They just listen to somebody standing in front of a podium yelling stuff that isn't true, and all you'd have to do is do a little research to realize it's not true.
Definitely. All right, moving along this morning, those recalls on meat have Americans wondering, is our food safe? Now, rumor has it you can get a quarter pounder again from McDonald's. They've cleared out all that old meat that was causing the problems, or onions.
They actually decided that they can't find any evidence that it was the beef. It looks like it was definitely the onions. Yeah.
All right, so we've got burgers, eggs, green onions, frozen waffles. The list of recalled food products in recent weeks has Americans worried. A lot of them from Listeria, harmful bacteria. Since a massive recall of Boar's Head deli meat revealed serious violations of health and safety regulations at one of its plants, new recalls seem to be in the headlines every day, but they have come out and said, that's our food system is safe, and we're catching them. You bite
After
that?
people are already sick.
Yeah, you want to bite off on that? They're catching them after they happened, but... yeah.
And I would imagine probably, as all government agencies are, all government agencies are at this point, they're understaffed. Are they really able to get out and quality check all of these big manufacturing plants, or these big processing plants, I guess I should say? So I'm sure that's has a little bit to do with it. But yeah, when you've got the amount of food we need to produce on a daily basis in this country,
it's mind-boggling, right?
It's mind-boggling. And so I'm sure in order to meet their quotas, or whatever you want to call it, there's probably some corners that are being cut, and you don't have the agencies that are there quality control checking. Sure.
All right, Costco announced a recall on some food, too, if you have some of these in your freezer or your Costco shopper. Recalled foods include Rana chicken truffle, and carbonara and Talgatti grilled white chicken, and portobello mushroom. All right, a couple frozen meals that could be tainted. Oh, all right, let's see. I wonder if I can get this on a picture. This is so cool. Maybe I can replace Val's photo with this. So this is a tomb that was found in Poland, and it was a cemetery of vampires, or what people thought were vampires. So I'm going to remove your little window so you can see this. This is one of the burials. I thought this was kind of fun for, as we get close to Halloween. They thought this lady was a vampire, if you can see it online, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or the website. And they put a sickle over the neck, so if they tried to come out of their grave, it would decapitate them.
Oh, interesting.
And a padlock on the toe.
On the toe.
I guess it makes it hard to walk.
Oh, there you go.
But that's kind of creepy, isn't it? But I thought that was different anyways.
You wonder if there was a vampire craze at one time, just like there was the witches. And so at some point, if everybody was being accused of being a vampire instead of accused of being a witch.
Yes. And that's what's obviously was going on in Poland, because there's a whole graveyard full of supposed vampires. All right. Val, what would you guess is the number one state for drinking alcohol?
North Dakota.
If you've ever been there, you know why. No, it's not. It's not North Dakota, and this is per capita.
Per capita. So we need to. Let's see. Let's go with Florida.
It isn't. So the biggest drinking states are, they say, Texas and California, but that's because there's so many people. If you break it down per capita, the state that drinks the most makes no sense. It's New Hampshire.
Really?
Yeah. You would think it'd be Idaho.
You would think. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a little strange.
I wonder what their drink of choice is in New Hampshire as well.
Yeah, and it doesn't elaborate on that. There was no breakdown between like wine or beer or any of that kind of stuff. All right, there goes your news headlines. That's all we're going to tell you about today. That's enough of that stuff. It's all depressing anyways. All right, bits and breaks. We're going to start off. We got a bunch of Halloween stuff. Yeah. All right, first one this morning. First joke coming from Val.
All right. You know what? I think that I am ready for Halloween night. Okay. I've got lots of candy for the little kids with little bags for them to carry them in. And then I've also got restraining orders for the big kids with eggs.
All right. So we are a long way off the road. The kids have already had plans. We're all going down to the road on Halloween night, to the edge of the road, and we're going to hand out candy there and be cold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm thinking I'm way addicted to food. I can still remember what candy I got from every house on the street I grew up on. I remember some of the best houses to go, that there were to go to at Chihuahua, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I carved all of my pumpkins, and then I filled them with bees for the neighborhood teenagers.
Wow, Val. Wow. I'm going to be smashing that one. All right. This isn't really Halloween. All right. But it's kind of scary. Car breaks down along the highway one day. So the driver eases over to the shoulder, jumps out of the car, opens the trunk, and pulls out two men in long black trench coats. The men stand behind the car. Val, they open up their coats and start exposing themselves to all the oncoming traffic. Say no.
All right. All right.
All right. This results in one of the worst car pileups in history. When the police questioned the man why he put two deviants alongside the road, the man replied, "I broke down and was just using my emergency flashers."
Oh, so bad.
I didn't think it was that bad. All right, Val has a challenge for us. All right. It's a new work week. Val, what should you do? Your challenge.
My challenge is to give 100% at work.
Okay.
So I'll do 12% Monday, 23% Tuesday, 40 on Wednesday, 20 on Thursday, and 5% on Friday.
Oh. It's Friday. All you're getting is 5% out of me. And it's Tuesday. So me and Val just doing 23% on this show.
That's all we need today. Yeah. Just to stay on quota for the week.
Yep. All right. I've got some clever ways, Val. We want to go back and forth on these ways that we've come up with to trick your trick-or-treaters. First one, wait behind the door until some people come. When they get near the door, jump out wearing a costume and holding a bag and yell, "Trick-or-treat at them."
Give me all your candy.
Take it and run.
Get about 30 people to wait in your living room. When trick-or-treaters come to the door, say, "Come in." When they do, everyone yells, "Surprise!"
For me? Get everyone who comes to the door to come in and see if they can figure out what's wrong with your dishwasher. Insist that it makes an unnatural whirring sound.
After you give them candy, you could hand them to trick-or-treaters a bill for what you spent.
Ooh, that'll be $1.50. All right. Insist that trick-or-treaters each do 10 push-ups before you give them any candy. I like that one.
I wonder what my granddaughters would have done. Drop down and give me 10, girls. Hand out menus to the trick-or-treaters and let them order their candy. Keep asking if anyone wants to see the wine list.
That's something you would do, too.
The parents would all have their hands up, right?
Answer the door dressed as a pilgrim, stare at the trick-or-treaters for a moment, and pretend to be confused and start flipping through your calendar.
Instead of candy, give away colored eggs. If anyone protests, explain that the eggs are the only thing you had left over from Easter.
Oh, that's just kind of mean, Val. All right. All right, moving on. Dad jokes, the Halloween edition. Yeah! And that horn, exactly how you're going to feel after these jokes. Val, let's go back and forth. Kick it off.
Why didn't the skeleton cross the road?
I don't know.
He didn't have the guts.
Oh, what does a ghost eat for lunch, Val?
I don't know.
That would be a Bologna sandwich.
What did the mommy ghost say to the baby ghost?
I don't know.
Don't spook until you're spooking too.
All right. How do vampires, Val, get around on Halloween night?
I don't know. How do they?
They use the blood vessels.
Why do ghouls and demons hang out together?
I don't know.
Because demons are a ghoul's best friend.
Oh, that's so bad. What happened to the guy who couldn't keep up payments to his exorcist?
Oh, I don't know. What did happen?
He was repossessed.
Oh, that might be my favorite one so far.
Okay.
What did the birds sing on Halloween?
I don't know.
Took your tweet.
Why should a skeleton drink 10 glasses of milk per day?
Oh, I don't know why.
It's good for your bones.
This one should be easy. What was a witch's favorite subject in school?
I have no idea.
Spelling.
Spelling. Why did the ghost go to the bar, Val?
Oh, why did the ghost go to the bar?
For the booze. Last one.
All right. Why didn't the skeleton dance at the party?
I don't know.
He had nobody to dance with.
It's kind of like your background today. All right, freaky facts for Halloween. We're going to go back and forth on these two. First one, smallest bat, Val, weighs less than a penny, but the largest bat has a wingspan of 20 feet.
Oh, my goodness. No kidding.
Carry away small children.
Wow.
That's
I
amazing.
mean, just think, because sometimes when you're outside at night, you get those flyovers of the bats, and that's creepy enough. But can you imagine if it was at a 20-foot wingspan?
I'm going to stop doing that thing I do with the light where I call in the bats now because I don't want a 20-footer.
No, for sure. No wonder why you feel like that's how they got the vampire
Bats.
turning into a bat type of thing. Ooh, weird. All right, vampires are part of an ancient myth about shapeshifters who change their form. Vampires supposedly change into bats.
They do. All right. The Australian funnel web spider can drive its quarter-inch fangs through your fingernail with a single bite.
Oh, wow.
Ow.
Wow. So, there's a good chance we're taking a trip to Australia next year. And as we were talking to our friends, she's like, remember, Brad, everything in Australia can kill you.
Wait a minute. You're going to Australia and you haven't even been to Maine yet.
I know it. Sorry about that.
Wow. All right.
Vampire bats in Central America are actually bloodsuckers, but they feast mainly on cattle, thank goodness.
Mainly. Did you catch that? Mainly.
Mainly.
The mask used by Michael Myers in the original Halloween was actually a Captain Kirk mask painted white. Which proves William Shatner is kind of scary.
Oh, boy. Black cats were once believed to be witches' assistants who protected their powers.
Do you have a black cat, Val?
I don't have a black cat.
Okay, checking.
I like black cats, but Brad, his vision is not very good. And so he's always afraid if you got a black cat, he'd step on it because he wouldn't see it.
They are the most stepped on cats. Wow. Orange and black are Halloween colors because orange represents the fall harvest and black is associated with darkness and death. All right.
Ooh. Each year, $3.6 billion are spent on Halloween candy.
Wow. It's not uncommon for people to be afraid of Halloween, Val. In fact, there's even a name for this fear. It's called Samhainophobia.
Samhainophobia?
Samhainophobia.
Samhainophobia, maybe?
I always forget that's how you say Samhain. Samhain. Some people call it Samhain.
Well, it's
only the
spelled
dumb
Samhain. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Keep it going. Gravestone inscriptions, Val.
Now, these are real inscriptions on gravestones in New York area graveyards.
Okay.
First one, he was a great lover.
Can you pre-order a headstone?
Oh, you can.
Okay. Life is too short. Buy more shoes. There's another gravestone for you. That's a good one.
This one said, a gentle and generous soul. He enjoyed a damn good pot roast.
Wow. And the person next to him, his gravestone said, lover of opera, maker of pot roast.
They were meant to be together.
Yeah.
He was very good. When he was bad, he was better.
Can I switch mine?
That was the old Mae West line, wasn't it?
I think so. Something very close to that, anyways.
Yeah.
And the last headstone we have this morning, something's not right here.
This wasn't supposed to happen.
All right. We got some other stuff that's kind of dark, but that is the end of our little Halloween festivity there. But these are dark as we move on. Weird fatalities. Nearly 120,000 people die from accidents each year in America, although over 2/3 of them occur from vehicle collisions and poisonings. How do those go together?
That many from poisonings?
Poisonings? Is that self-poisoning or someone else poisoning you? That's what I want to know.
Listeria. I don't know.
Hey, it was the quarter pounder that took him out. All right. There are plenty of other unusual ways people kick the bucket. Here are some of the weird fatalities for 1 year taken from government statistics. 43 deaths. First up, from hot water.
From hot water. Wow.
Tap water. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
103 caught between objects.
Okay. So like
some sort of mechanical forces. Maybe you kicked that vending machine.
And it fell over on top of you?
Maybe.
It's happened. All right. 105 from electric transmission lines.
Oh, I could see that.
Oopsie.
120 rider of an animal vehicle? What you mean, like riding a horse or something?
Or a wagon pulled by a horse? You see a lot of that in the Midwest.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. 344 from drowning while in or falling into a bathtub.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot. That was a big number, 344.
That is. How about this one? 477 people die every year falling from a ladder.
Huh. I dangled off the roof of the radio station once.
Oh, boy.
Too embarrassed to yell for help. All right. 533 from falling out of building. Watch those windows.
For sure. 48 from a lightning strike.
Ouch. 80 from being bitten or struck by mammals other than a dog and a human.
Wow.
There was a lady who was surfing and was killed by, a couple weeks ago, killed by a swordfish.
Oh, that's wild.
It happened, they will attack if they feel threatened, but it was actually like jumping out of the water as she was coming on her surfboard.
Okay.
Yeah, scary.
I'm wondering if some of those probably include like bear attacks.
Sure.
People are killed by moose.
Pit bulls.
Or bison because you think it's really fun to taunt them.
It said dogs weren't included, so no.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. 573 accidental suffocation and strangulation in bed.
How does that happen?
I don't know. You get wrapped up in your sheets?
Buried your face too far into that pillow, did you?
Evidently.
How do you get strangle yourself in bed? No more sleeping with headphones.
There you go.
All right, 700 from excessive cold. That makes sense.
Right. And this one is surprising. 899 people die every year falling from house furniture.
Using that chair to change the light bulb and it collapses under you, that kind of stuff, maybe?
That must be it. Huh. Right. Standing on the counter.
Having your Murphy bed fold up with you inside it.
And then you get counted on both accidental suffocation in bed and a fall from household furniture.
All right. So we've covered all these deaths. Let's move on. We're keeping it dark today. Keeping going with this theme. Things you should never say at a funeral. Who's next, Val? I wasn't keeping track.
I think it's you.
All right. Things you should never say at a funeral. Has his mistress arrived yet? Wow.
Oh, how about this one? Well, it's just as well. I had no idea what to get him for his birthday.
Oh. This is what they'll say about me. Lying there with his eyes closed like that, you'd swear he was at work.
Here's another thing you should never say at a funeral. I guess he finally found a way to get out of paying me back.
One of his neighbors, is it inappropriate to ask for his Wi-Fi password right now?
Oh, and how about this final one? Does anyone know if they validate parking?
Oh, things to never say at a funeral. All right, very, very good. And we're almost ready for our break. We're going to go ahead and roll out some trivia. Val, you want to dole me out today's trivia? And I'll hit you with yesterday's. Here we go.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
All right, here we go. A few trivia questions. You want to kick it off, Val?
Sure. All right, 60% of women want a man who will do what in public?
Hold their hand.
No.
What do they call those? PDAs? Public display of infection? Infection?
Yes, but it... What's that?
That's an I. Public display of infection is what I said. I meant to say infection. No?
Well, I want you to be more specific in that.
So I said no to holding hands. They want to kiss in public.
Yes.
Oh, yuck.
I'm not doing that.
Yuck. Tongue or no tongue? All right. Every 5 minutes, the world consumes 2,083,000 of these. Every 5 minutes, the world consumes 2,083,000 of these. It's a beverage.
It's a beverage, a Coca-Cola?
No.
We kind of like a cup of tea.
It's not tea.
Oh, it's a beverage. Is it as simple as bottled water?
It is not water.
Oh, wow. Now I'm confused.
You're forgetting the most important thing that keeps most everyone alive.
Well, that would have been water.
No.
The thing that keeps me alive? Alcohol.
No again.
Milk?
I'm going to go to Facebook to see if anybody's helped you. It went, geez, Val, it's coffee.
Oh, my God. It keeps everybody alive. Oh, yes. I was on the right track with the tea, but
Yeah.
All right. You get a spy the lie.
Okay.
All right. Sea otters hold hands when they sleep so they don't drift apart. It's your first choice.
Say that again.
Sea otters hold hands when they sleep so they don't drift apart.
Okay.
Okay. Second, between 1900 and 1920, tug of war was an Olympic event.
Okay.
Okay. Finally, Google was originally named Backtrack.
So I know the otters hold hands, and I know tug of war was an Olympic sport. So the third one is the lie. Google was not called Backtrack. It was called something else really lame.
Back rub.
Yes.
It wasn't originally called back rub.
Well, I'll take that.
So you were right.
When's it start?
What's that?
When's it start? The back rub.
The back rub?
Yeah.
You're going to have to talk to somebody on that side of the continent.
All right, Val. I'm going to guess you won't get this one. Leave It to Beaver was the first TV show to show what? 1957.
The parents sleeping in the same bed.
No.
First person to show what?
It's something you wouldn't have thought would be that embarrassing.
Oh, really?
It's something in a room in the house. A specific room.
toilet?
And it's not a toilet. How did you know that?
Oh, I was just trying to think of something that might be a little embarrassing.
That's just your toilet, Val.
Yeah, true.
Wow.
All right. Now, I have got some questions for you.
Okay.
The answer to each has the ghostly word boo in it. Okay?
Okay.
A face game you play with babies.
Peekaboo.
Very good. The nickname of former NFL quarterback Norman Eason.
That's a Esiason.
Esiason.
And it's Boomer.
Oh, I never thought you'd get that. Something you read.
A book.
Yes. Another word for hoodwink.
With a boo in it. Ooh, that's a tough one. So that's tricked.
Yeah. For hoodwink.
Oh, wow, I had it in my head for a moment. Bamboozle.
Very good.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I'm impressed. And
That's
a type
tough
of
one.
monkey.
Is it like Bobo? Boo-boo?
Nope, it's not like a fictional character or the name. This is an actual species of monkey, subspecies. They're really ugly. Because you normally see them when they show them from the backside.
They got big red butts, but I don't remember what they're called.
Baboon.
Ah, baboo. I get it now. All right. That's pretty good. All right, Val.
All right, that was it.
Okay, I got a riddle for you. Right? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. All right. Three brothers share a family sport. A nonstop marathon. The oldest one is fat and short and trudges slowly on. The middle brother's tall and slim and keeps a steady pace. The youngest runs just like the wind, speeding through the race. He's young in years, we let him run, the other brothers say, 'cause though he's surely number one, he's second in a way. This is basically describing an item you would have in your house.
Oh, okay.
Three brothers share a family sport, a nonstop marathon. The oldest one is fat and short and trudges slowly on. The middle brother's tall and slim and keeps a steady pace. The youngest runs like the wind, speeding through the race.
Goodness.
Tough one.
Oh, yeah. Speeding through the race. And this is something you'd find in your house?
And you look at it.
I think I'm trying to think of what you would look at in a house. Your TV, your door, your window, your wall. I don't know. What is it?
A clock. That's a tough one. The hands on a clock. That was
The hands on a clock.
That's why I went back
Wow.
and repeated those three and hoping it would help a little bit. But yeah,
No.
I'd have never got that one easier, so we'll still give you free points just for being here. Okay?
All right. Thank you. Thank
All right.
you.
All right. I still have a couple more. All right. This is one. Let's do this. Answer wrong and win the Halloween Spectacular. All right. Val, answer wrong and win. When you knock on a door looking for candy on Halloween, what do you say?
Halloween.
Oh, that's good. If you're half man, half wolf, what are you?
Half man, half wolf. Harry.
Correct answer is Scott. Dracula is one of these. Oh, that's a tough one.
Oh, it is. Fun on a first date.
Oh, Val, you're scoring. Wow, out of the park. Dracula's one of these. Fun on a first date. Fun on your last date, too. What do the Phoenix characters wait for every Halloween?
Well, he's also known as Trump, but Trump?
A big orange pumpkin.
That's right.
Take a pumpkin, carve it up. What do you have?
Orange goo all over the house.
Yes. All right, there you go. Answer wrong and win the Halloween edition. Good job, Val. Those were really clever answers. Most people don't do that well when it's just off the cuff like that. So hats off to my sister, Val. All right. We got a couple extra minutes here before we go to break. I'm going to ask you some questions, Val. See what you come up with. Okay?
Okay.
All right. What's your greatest regret?
Oh, boy. My greatest regret. That's tough.
Isn't it?
You know, that's really hard because I always tell Brett I have no regrets in my life. Everything that you're like, you know, maybe I should have done things differently, but they still made me who I am today. So I actually don't have any regrets in life.
Wow. You know, that's the thing about regrets. If you were to go back and you could change it, you would change other things in your life. So I was saying no to that too. So I'll take that as a good answer. All right. Sum up your life story in just a couple words.
Oh boy, that's really tough. My life story in just a couple words. And then she drank wine.
I
don't know.
I can sum up mine.
You are an idiot!
All right, Val, what goes best on toast?
Well, I'm going to say peanut butter.
Okay. Wow. Not butter, just peanut butter. Okay. Right.
Yeah, and it's a close second with just butter because I'm a kind of a purist. All I want on my scrambled eggs is butter. And so yeah, so it was a close tie between those two.
Can you remember your wedding proposal?
I don't know if there was a big proposal. We were kind of like, oh, we should get married. Let's go pick out a ring. So I don't know if there was a down on your knee type of thing. I don't think so. It was more of it just kind of flowing into it.
I have one of those where it was just kind of like a business agreement. Yeah, we should get married. That should work out great. Yeah, we were just having lunch.
There you go. Why not?
Such a bad idea. All right. Tell us about your, did you have any brushes with greatness, Val, where you've met to maybe a celebrity or something?
No, I don't think I've ever met a celebrity. I'm trying to see. I don't have nope, nothing like that, I guess. You've met a celebrity, haven't you?
A couple. My favorite, though, George Takei from the original Star Trek.
Oh, that would be fun.
And I asked him, I was talking to him, and I asked him if I could shake his hand, and he looked at me.
I'm picking up a heavy, creepy vibe here.
And then he shook my hand. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Didn't ask for an autograph, just a handshake.
Yeah. What is, and I think that surprised him, too, because everybody was bugging him for autographs. And I said, dude, I just want to shake your hand. He kind of looked at me and twisted his head and went, okay. And then I never washed it again. Right. What is, can you remember, one of the most embarrassing things, if not the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you, and it's not falling down the stairs?
Falling up the stairs? I just fell up the stairs again recently.
Oh, good job. It's a thing.
It's a thing. The most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me. Oh, I don't know if I've ever been like, oh my gosh, I'm horrified. I can never be around these people again type of thing.
Isn't it funny, though? That's one of the things you can, the most painful thing, you could probably come up with something. But when you say the most embarrassing thing, it's like we push embarrassing things out of our mind.
Yeah, I could see that because it's so uncomfortable. You don't tend to want to think about it, right?
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I can't think of anything.
I remember one time I had too much to drink. And I was in a friend's bathroom, and I leaned up against the wall. And I leaned up against the wall a little hard, and this really nice clock fell and shattered on the floor.
Oh, no.
So I kind of clean up the mess, and I'm feeling better, and I come out of the bathroom, and everybody's standing in the kitchen, and they all look at me with concerned faces, and then the homeowner goes, "How's my clock?" Apparently they could hear everything. And I knew exactly what was going on. Yeah, how's my clock?
Oh, boy.
All right, when we come back, we're going to have goofy holidays, a little bit of history, and we always wrap things up with odd news, but we need you to do one important thing, and that's stay right here on Northern Lights Public Radio. We are KCHW 102.7 and back in just a few minutes.
See that the humans remain entertained until the end.
Spiders, plastic blobs, ghost goop, garlic reeds, and other miscellaneous supernatural knickknacks.
It's 8:19.
Your KCHW Morning Show is made possible by donations from
Colville Toyota. Colville Toyota, located at 160 West 3rd Avenue in Colville, offers new and used vehicle sales and service. Vehicle sales is open 8:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, with a Toyota Express Maintenance Center open 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. More information on Colville Toyota's vehicle inventory and services is available at colvilletoyota.com. A small-town dealership with a big heart.
and by Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at ChihuahuaFlooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at ChihuahuaFlooring@gmail.com.
This is KCHW 102.7.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast, October the 29th, 2024. I'm Mike Clifford. With the election just a week away, advocates for fair elections in Montana met recently as part of a coalition to highlight efforts to protect voting rights at the state and federal levels.
The event highlighted recent victories in the ongoing struggles to educate voters and ensure transparency at the ballot box. Montana Farmers Union President Walter Schweitzer says no matter a voter's political stripe, it's important for people to vote, but also to advocate for fair and open elections.
This is about showing up for the future of our state. Encourage your neighbors, family, and friends to stay engaged. Don't just vote. Keep pushing for transparency and fairness in our elections. Montana depends on all of us.
Schweitzer was part of a coalition that met recently to highlight progress made toward protecting voting rights. The group cited a Montana Supreme Court decision that struck down laws that would have made remote ballot collection more difficult, for example, which is especially important on Montana's 7 tribal reservations. I'm Mark Moran.
Next from CNN, Donald Trump anchored his bid to win a second White House term next week on searing anti-migrant fear at a rally at Madison Square Garden, doubling down on his promise for a massive deportation program on day one to reverse an immigration invasion, as he called it. They report as the ex-president's allies defend him against Democratic claims he's a fascist and an authoritarian. Trump on Sunday delivered a screed that may augur the most extreme presidency in modern history if he beats Democratic nominee Kamala Harris on November the 5th. Trump said the United States is an occupied country, that as Democrats projected messages on the exterior of the storied New York City arena, reading Trump is unhinged, and Trump praised Hitler. For more on the fallout from the Trump rally, we head to North Dakota, where those helping new Americans resettle hope politics don't interfere.
Trump's position related to immigration often focuses on undocumented individuals and the southern border. But while in office, he also placed tighter caps on refugee admissions. Derek Rose leads Catch ND, a new nonprofit that assists non-English speakers adapting to rural North Dakota towns after being approved for resettlement. Despite the national tone, he sees more positive welcoming examples locally.
One of the families had a couple young kids. They didn't have their driver's license yet, so they needed a stroller and a wagon so they could walk to the store and get groceries and supplies. And, neighbors provided those things for them when they put a request out on Facebook.
But if a resident in one of these communities is swayed by misinformation on the campaign trail, Gross urges them to learn about key programs while sharing their concerns. I'm Mike Moen.
This is Public News Service. The Biden administration's new Climate Corps has just graduated its inaugural class of workers. We get the details in this Atmos Earth Solutions Journalism California News Service collaboration.
Jessica Selly is a Solar Corps Fellow in the Bay Area with Grid Alternatives, a group helping low-income communities with the clean energy transition. Solar Corps' mission is to train a diverse green workforce. Selly just finished an 11-month stint with the program.
I am part of something bigger, and I do look forward to moving into a career in the long term in the renewable industry.
Grid partnered with AmeriCorps to launch Solar Corps, which has provided paid fellowships to more than 300 people. I'm Suzanne Potter.
And an event in Phoenix today will celebrate and highlight the power of collective giving in the Grand Canyon State.
Ilyasa and Shabazz with the organization Philanthropy Together says Arizona is one of the states with some of the most diverse set of giving circles advocating for a wide range of issues impacting Arizona communities. These groups bring together folks with shared values to decide where they should invest a gift, which Shabazz adds isn't always financial.
It is also about using our voice. So when you see that there are people advocating, they're using their voice, they're giving their time and volunteering, their talent.
Shabazz calls collective giving a movement in Arizona. Circle Up Arizona's free event will take place from 5:30 to 7:30 this evening at the Anchor Center building courtyard. The event is open to all current Giving Circle members, collective giving networks, and anyone looking to learn more. I'm Alex Gonzalez reporting.
Finally, our Kathleen Shannon lets us know for Colorado voters who want to consider national parks and public lands when they head to the polls, a 2024 congressional scorecard shows lawmakers' voting histories on the issues.
The National Parks Action Fund's scorecard grades members of Congress based on their votes on things like the 2024 spending bill for the Department of the Interior, which was cut by over $430 million, or nearly 13%. Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Arvada, Randy Moorman, says that could result in 1,000 fewer park rangers, a problem in places with high visitation like Colorado.
We have a lot of tourists that come, and being able to manage all of those tourists in a very sustainable way that not only doesn't have an impact on our parks and our wildlife, but also our local communities. It's really important that those parks are well staffed.
Colorado U.S. representatives who received F scores were Lauren Boebert, Ken Buck, and Doug Lamborn, all three Republican. Senators weren't scored because they did not vote on parks this year. I'm Kathleen Shannon.
This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Here's our radio stations, big and small. Your favorite podcast platform. Find our content and trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
And we're back. It's KCHW 102.7, looking at 8:27 this morning as we continue our morning broadcast with myself, Scott, and my beautiful sister Val, live from Deer Park.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hope you stayed with us, or if you're just joining us, thanks for that, too. A couple news headlines before we do celebrity birthdays, Val. And let's see. First one up, the government has felt compelled. It says, we might not get a story just popped up. We might not get a presidential winner on election night because the race is so tight. More votes must be counted before an official winner can be declared. And they're saying a delay doesn't mean fraud. Please don't freak out.
Well, and I kind of felt like that. I said to Brad this morning, I'm like, I wonder how long before we know who won the election. Because, back when we were younger, and I'm not even saying kids, but even 20 years ago, you knew election night pretty much who had won.
Things are so close now through several elections.
They're so close, and even if they're not extremely close, we're still going to have accusations of voter fraud, which will tie things up in courts for a while, and all of that. So I'm hoping by Christmas. I just want it to be over with, though. We were talking about this before we got on the radio. If somebody asked me to judge my level of stress right now, on 1 to 10 being no stress and 10 being extremely stressed, I'd have to put myself about an 8.
Yeah.
And it's the political climate right now that is going to stick me up there.
At 58, I have been more bothered by the last 2 election cycles more than any other in my life. It's really, and especially I guess what's bothered me the most is the flat out and what I deem as obvious lies. I mean, both sides do it, but there's some serious blatant stuff that goes on. This just popped up as well. Donald Trump has a serious Puerto Rico problem in Pennsylvania. This story right now on Yahoo says many Puerto Rican voters in the state are furious about the racist and demeaning comments delivered at Trump's rally. Some say their dismay is giving Harris a new opening to win over the state's Latino voters, particularly nearly half of the million Pennsylvanians of Puerto Rican descent. That was probably the wrong place to do that joke.
Right. And it's interesting how there's lots of backtracking. I think, but what really bothered me almost as much as the joke and all of that, when they asked J.D. Vance about it, he was at a rally and they asked him. He goes, "Well, first off, I didn't hear the joke, liar. Second off." He's like, "Well, we as Americans are just way too sensitive anymore. I wish we'd get over being so sensitive about comments like that." And I'm like, really, dude, is that the stance you're going to take? Why not stand up in there and say, we really apologize. We're sorry this was said. And I don't know that we've heard that from Trump or J.D. Vance. It's like, you get a little statement going, that does not represent the views of our candidates, but you should come flat out and say, I'm sorry that was said, we didn't know it, whatever, but there's been no apology from those two.
And that's probably a huge mistake because it says evidence of the backlash was immediate on Monday. A nonpartisan Puerto Rican group drafted a letter urging its members to oppose Trump on Election Day. Other Puerto Rican voters were lighting up WhatsApp chats with the reactions to the vulgar display and raising it in morning conversation at their bodegas. Some are planning to protest Trump's rally Tuesday in Allentown, a major Latino city with one of the largest Puerto Rican populations in the state. Big mistake not to come out and condemn that comedian. At the same time, you should probably know what his skit is going to be. I've never heard of the guy before. He was not funny at all. He was just rude. They should have saw that coming.
They should have, and evidently they had one of the other things he said he was going to say was so bad that they told him not to say it.
So they knew.
So they knew. I mean, if they're having to say and for it to be that bad that they nixed it, I can't even imagine how bad it was. But like I said, I just feel like if Trump and J.D. Vance had made an apology at one of the rallies after that, of just to say, "Oh my gosh, we're so sorry. I should have never been said," whatever.
You should have took the stage right after him and said it, though. Not at the next rally. It should have happened immediate.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Vance going, oh, yeah, we're just all way too sensitive. That's not how you handle this situation to blame it back on the people for being sensitive, not on, for being too sensitive, not on the comedian for saying it or your own campaign committee for not vetting that. So that's what drives me crazy. Just say I'm sorry.
No. Blame someone else wins hands down, Val. Come on.
He wins hands down.
Hands down. All righty then. Let's keep on moving this morning and go into what we like to call celebrity birthdays. Val, will you kick that off for us?
Sure. Richard Dreyfuss is 77 today. Kate Jackson from Charlie's Angels, 76 today.
Okay.
Dan Castellaneta, you probably know how to say that because he's from The Simpsons.
No, I don't. Castellaneta, that's it.
Dan Castellaneta is 67 today. Winona Ryder from Stranger Things, 53.
Has anyone ever told you kind of look like Winona Ryder?
I'll take that.
Okay, there you go.
Thanks.
I've always thought that. Yeah.
Oh.
Every time I see her, I go, oh. Every time I see Winona Ryder on TV or in a movie, I think of you.
So, that's awesome.
All right.
Tracy Ellis Ross from Blackish, 52 today. Gabrielle Union from Bring It On and Being Mary Jane is 52. And finally, short list today, Ben Foster from 310 to Yuma is 44 today.
All right, moving on to history, we call It Happened Today, and we start off way back in 1390. This is not cool, though. The first trial for witchcraft held in Paris.
Wow.
Don't worry.
I saw some.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just saw something a little deep, which I'll go there, but it was like they didn't burn witches, they burned women.
That's true.
So,
They never, All right, 1886, ticker tape parade was invented in New York City when office workers spontaneously threw ticker tape into the streets as the Statue of Liberty was dedicated.
Oh, okay.
1969, first ever computer-to-computer link was established on ARPANET, a precursor to the Internet. Let's see, 1998, Space Shuttle Discovery blasted off with 77-year-old John Glenn on board, making him the oldest person to go into space. He became the first American to orbit the Earth on February 20th of 1962 as well. All right, 2004, Arabic news network Al Jazeera aired an excerpt from a video of Osama bin Laden in which the terrorist leader first admitted direct responsibility for September 11th and referenced the 2004 U.S. presidential election as well. All right. Let's see. 2007, Athens, Greece. Two thieves ambushed a supermarket employee as he was taking cash to the bank. Men were armed only with ketchup. Police say the thieves jumped out of the bushes and threw 2 big bags of ketchup on the front window to stop the car. The man fought with his attackers, who managed to flee on a motorcycle with only a fraction of the money he was carrying. And hopefully they kept their ketchup. 2019, a woman in Wisconsin made a 911 call on herself, told the dispatcher, somebody's really drunk driving. Dispatcher asked if she was behind the drunk driver, to which she replied, no, I am them.
Yes, I'm so drunk.
The dispatcher asked, okay, so you're calling to report your drunk driving? And the woman replied, yep. Dispatcher told her to pull over, and she complied and waited for police.
Oh, jeez.
You're so wise. You're like a miniature Buddha covered in hair.
Yeah.
I can remember when I worked at the bank, I was in the drive-through window, and this guy pulls up, not even to like the cash machine on the other side, but pulls up to the window to get money. He's obviously inebriated, and he has his can of beer in the console.
Huh.
Might have called the police on that one.
Might have. All right.
All right. Me special events today?
Yes.
All right. It's International Internet Day, probably because of that 1969 story.
Oh.
Cat Day.
Whoa!
Tune in tomorrow. Same cat time, same cat channel.
I'm ready.
Our sister just adopted a new cat. Yes, well, she ended up with a stray, but her husband is allowing her to keep it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Right. So it is Hermit Day.
I am one.
Uh-huh. Oatmeal Day.
Ew.
Not even in a cookie?
No.
Vote Early Day.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep. World Psoriasis Day.
I have that.
I was going to...
Let me hide my arms before I go out. All right.
And finally, today is World Stroke Day.
Oh, be careful out there.
Yeah.
Be really, really careful. All right. Number for the day, Val, is 25, and that's the miles of conveyors at the Whirlpool Washing Machine Factory in Clyde, Ohio. Oh, I want a tour.
Wow.
Yeah. Can those conveyors carry short, chunky guys? All right, let's move on to news and nuggets. Val's got our first story this morning about daylight savings time.
All right, daylight saving time ends this weekend. It seems like it's early this year, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, before you hit the sack Saturday night, move your clocks back 1 hour. And your local fire department also wants you to test your smoke detectors and check their batteries.
All right. Many of us are intimidated by the thought of doing something on our own. Now, you're married, so you probably don't have that come up very often. I don't like doing stuff by myself, which makes it tough when you're in a new place. I don't want to go out to dinner by myself. The only thing I like doing on my own is gambling. Other than that, I want somebody with me.
Probably a lot more people do that on their own than those other things, going to a movie or dining out or something. I would say more people probably gamble.
Is there anything you do by yourself?
You know, we're both retired. We go everywhere together. I do not like to drive, and so I've driven more since I got the Mustang.
I was going to say
this fall than I've driven probably in a couple years, just because I don't like to drive, and so when I have to go somewhere without Brad and drive, I am not a fan. And yeah, like I said, if it's just to Spokane or to Deer Park in the Mustang, yeah, I'll do it. I'm not a fan of driving.
Instant noodles, Val. Tell us about the instant noodle boom.
All right, the U.S. market for instant noodles has grown 36% over the past 5 years and hit $2.7 billion in 2023, making the U.S. the sixth largest market for instant noodles in the world. There were 5 billion servings eaten in the U.S. annually, up from 3 billion in 2000.
Huh. Why is that a big increase? I mean, that's huge for noodles.
For noodles, yes. And I would like to know the largest markets for instant noodles, because we come in at 6.
Yeah. Who's eating all those noodles?
Eating all those noodles?
All right. You're going to like this story, Val. It's a heartwarming turn of events. Cat swept away during Hurricane Helene's floods in North Carolina has miraculously found his way back home.
Oh.
A Brazilian feline named Ricardo Blanco disappeared after being washed away by the rising floodwaters. Ricardo was swept away on a camper that floated in the floodwaters, leaving the family helpless and mourning his loss. However, 8 days later, in a truly cat-like fashion, Ricardo reappeared and needed only medical treatment for a minor infection. Oh.
Wow, that is a great story.
Yes!
Tune in tomorrow. Same cat time, same cat channel.
Just going to warn you, I'm going to play that again before the end of the show. All right.
Let's see. Am I up next?
Yes.
I was trying to... The ring one didn't sound that exciting.
Well, skip it then.
All right. Why your office should smell clean. A study from Brigham Young University suggested that clean-smelling environments subtly encourage people to avoid bad behavior. The study was unusually simple and conclusive. Participants engaged in several tasks, the only difference being that some worked in unscented rooms, while others worked in rooms freshly spritzed with Windex. As a test of whether clean scents would enhance Reciprocity.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, participants played a classic trust game. Subjects received $12 of real money, allegedly sent by an anonymous partner in another room. They had to decide how much of it to either keep or return to their partners who had trusted them to divide it fairly. Subjects in clean-scented rooms were less likely to exploit the trust of their partners, returning a significantly higher share of the money.
So clean scents make you nicer, too?
It does, evidently more honest. Oh, where could we stick some of these politicians?
My story's better and does not involve Windex spritzing.
Okay.
All right. Study from the University of Buffalo found that couples who smoke weed together have a significantly lower rate of fighting and domestic violence.
Another one of those studies like, duh.
I remember saying on the radio years ago when marijuana got legalized, I was like, wait a minute, because some people were freaking out. And I said, for 80 years, you could drive into Chihuahua, stop at the liquor store on Main Street, and pick up a fifth and go home and beat your kids and wife. And that was okay. But now, like something that never causes violence, and it's a problem. So, and it's true. All right.
Yeah. It just mellows you out and makes you happy.
And their main theory, why, is, drum roll, please. Wait a minute. Marijuana mellows you out and makes you happy. When people are happy, they don't fight. Only time I've ever gotten set up was somebody turned Star Trek off.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Let's talk about beer, Val.
Oh, yes. I'll talk about beer. How much does a typical beer drinker, how much will they spend over a lifetime? If you're a frequent beer drinker, you'll spend $69,909 on the stuff over your lifetime.
So I'm allergic to beer. Can you tell me where my $69,000 is? Because I'd like to reacquire that.
If you're anything like your sister on gadgets and stuff like that.
I gave it to Amazon? Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Do you want to do that one too? You sounded like it.
Sure. Well, I just forgot who had done what, but
right.
I can do it.
Go ahead.
The world seems pretty negative these days, but at least we're trying to keep things positive. 80% of Americans say they make a conscious effort to think positively every morning. Guess what helps?
Okay.
Coffee. 50% of adults say we can't start out positively unless we get some Java in us first.
So many good things come out about coffee. And I think it's good as long as you don't drink 2 pots a day like Chuck.
It's funny. We just had somebody say, coffee is not that good for you. I drink something else. I'm like, coffee is good for you. Haven't you heard all those studies?
Yeah. There's rare. The only time they talk about it being bad for you is it can dehydrate you when you drink 2 pots a day. but a couple cups of coffee a day is super healthy for your heart and your brain. They say it'll ward off even effects of dementia and Alzheimer's.
Right. Yeah. So Chuck is chronically dehydrated?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to guess. I bet he pees a lot. Sorry.
And that's not just because he's older.
It's the coffee. 2 pots a day. Come on.
Is it the coffee or your prostate?
I hope he's listening. All right. And last story here. Extremely rare dime, missing since the late 1970s, has been sold for over $500,000. U.S. minted coin from 1975 featuring President Franklin D. Roosevelt is one of the only 2 known to lack the usual S mint mark. Dime was inherited by 3 Ohio sisters after their brother's passing. He had stored it in a bank vault for more than 40 years. Online auction ending on Sunday said the coin fetched $506,000. Another 1975 no S-proof dime sold in 2019 for $456,000, and later again to a private collector. Just a dime.
Wow.
Which makes me say
why can't I find that?
Yeah, it makes me say this, Val.
I wish I had a dime for every dime I have.
For sure.
Yeah. I'd still have like 3 dimes, though.
Who has coins anymore?
Who has coins? All right, let's wrap this show up, sis.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid. You know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
And here we go. It's odd news. Kicking it off with a news attack. First sentence true. Second sentence bad joke. And my sister Val kicks it off.
All right, an 18-year-old guy in Germany was busted trying to break into a prison to win back his ex-girlfriend who had dumped him by phone. Dude, if the girl was willing to go to prison just to get away from you, I think you should move on.
Wow.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Some 44 million Americans have already voted to finally put an end to daylight savings time, I hope. That should have been on the ballot this year.
You know what? And so far, the majority of us have elected to kick. I'm trying to think of who I want to pick on. Trump out of the country?
No. Roseanne Barr would be better.
Oh, there you go.
And then it would be kick her back out of the country.
Back out of the country?
Yeah. According to the study, coffee may help us have healthy bacteria in our digestive system. Study was conducted by Dr. Maxwell at the Folgers Institute of Starbucks.
Some researchers say pickles can help fight cavities, and I thought they were only meant to decorate the side of my plate after picking them off of my burger.
We have to keep a mouthful of them all day in order for it to work.
Oh, there you go.
Another study found that the breadwinning spouse is the one most likely to cheat.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's because that's the one who can actually afford the secret second smartphone. Wow.
Oh, boy. A study found that 10 minutes of vigorous exercise can boost your metabolic rate for a good hour. That means if I jog to Taco Bell, I won't have to feel guilty about eating a beefy Fritos burrito, right?
That's right. It's like free calories.
Free calories.
Yep. Another study, we'll end it right here, says we need at least 15,000 steps a day to keep our heart healthy. For me, that means 3 more hikes to Dunkin' Donuts.
But boy, are you healthy.
It's just down the street. Donuts. Here we go to Wacky But True. Don't add anything to these stories but sound effects from television and movies. Val's got an Uber story.
In Polk County, Florida, an Uber Eats driver's delivery turned sour when she reportedly spat on a customer and stole fall decorations from her property. The accused, Alexandra de Vala Acosta Aguilera, visited a home late at night where a confrontation led to her shocking actions. The victim observed her taking food from her order and holding her $10 Happy Fall Y'all sign. A verbal dispute escalated, resulting in the driver allegedly spitting in the customer's face. The situation intensified as the driver took off with more fall-themed items from the property, valued at about $75 each. Authorities located the Uber driver, and she actually admitted to the incident.
Yeah, I spit on her, and I stole her Halloween decor. You know, spitting on someone is actually assault, so...
It is.
It is.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, honey. I know.
She really hurt my feelings.
She's jealous.
She don't even know me.
I know.
She's mad, jealous of you. She'll stop at nothing.
Oh, what wouldn't I give to be spat at in the face? Oh, sometimes I go awake at night dreaming of being spat at in the face.
Well, if she is a witch, she's got the weird part down pat. It's just the magic powers she's missing.
What's going on? She's gonna eat me!
Huh?
I bet she's the nicest, gentlest, warmest person ever. Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
Do you think she's pretty? Yeah, she's a full-on Monet. What's a Monet? It's like the painting, see? From far away, it's okay, but up close, it's a big old mess.
I like
big
that
old
one.
mess. All right, pizza joint in Stockton, Wisconsin unintentionally served up a psychedelic surprise recently. Famous Yeti's Pizza made headlines after dozens of customers fell ill, with 5 even needing emergency medical attention. The local public health department traced the source back to THC. I thought they used the wrong kind of mushrooms on the pizza. THC, if you don't know, active ingredient cannabis that contaminated the pizza dough. Mix-up occurred when a cook mistakenly used oil infused with THC to prepare the dough. This blunder led to a batch. Why was that right next to the regular oil?
That's what I want to know.
Well, maybe they make special pizzas after hours.
Maybe.
Blunder led to
or somebody was doing it on purpose.
Cool. A blunder led to a batch of 60 pizzas being served with unexpected twists. Symptoms like dizziness, nausea, and anxiety, and even more reported by those that indulged in the trippy treats.
I want to know how they didn't smell the difference.
Or that taste. Not that I know.
Yeah. Well, the smell, though.
All right. Let's go to Idaho, Val. Oh, I got a sound effect. For yeah, okay. Hold on. It's a pizza.
Cold pizza for you. It's good for breakfast. See you.
Pizza, anyone?
You guys eat pizza?
Doesn't everybody?
That was really good pizza.
Oh, this is the best pizza in a cup ever. This guy's unbelievable. He ran the old cup of pizza guy out of business.
A pizza
People
stuffed
come
inside
all
a
over
turkey,
to get
the whole thing deep fried and dipped in chocolate.
That's what I want. Put some of that special oil on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
the special oil.
All right.
All right, now let's go to Idaho. Chandler Hadraba, a Republican candidate for state representative in Idaho, is campaigning to make Bigfoot the official state animal. Idaho currently lacks an official state animal, although it boasts a variety of state symbols ranging from amphibians to dinosaurs. Hadraba is focused on a number of traditional conservative issues, but also wants to boost Bigfoot tourism in Idaho. He believes that designating Bigfoot as a state animal and offering hunting tags could benefit rural communities through increased tourism. This idea is not the first of its kind, as a state representative in Oklahoma previously proposed an official Bigfoot hunting season.
I think it's funny how these guys never actually get elected.
Where'd you get that thing?
I trapped it. Been keeping it in my bathroom at the motel, feeding it old pizza.
Dad? It's Bigfoot!
I think Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. It's not the photographer's fault. Bigfoot is blurry. And that's extra scary to me because there's a large, out-of-focus monster roaming the countryside.
Would you mind saying that again? Idaho? That's frightfully interesting. We pronounce it Ohio.
Potato head!
Way to go, Idaho!
I hope he gets elected.
I want to see it happen.
All right. I think it's you.
No, I did the Bigfoot one.
Oh, guy in Italy walked into a post office armed with a screwdriver and told the cashier to empty her register. Cashier reportedly told the man, "Come on, don't do it. You'd better give me that." She told police he then started crying. Told her he was behind in alimony payments. A co-worker called police while the cashier was comforting the sobbing suspect. When officers arrived, the man was still crying and telling the cashier and the post office customers about all his troubles.
She probably wish he would have rather robbed her.
What, are you crying? You don't cry, all right? You keep your chin up. Come on, keep your chin up. Crying never helped anybody do anything, okay? You have a problem? You face it like a man.
What's crying get you anyhow? Nothing but the hiccups. There, you see?
There.
All right, moving on to the cheat sheet, Val. What do you got?
All right, 69 passengers traveling on a Buddha Air flight in Nepal ended up in a different city than their intended destination due to a mix-up caused by bad weather. The flight was scheduled to go to from Kathmandu to how do you say that one? Janakpur, but ended up in Pokhara, 155 miles away. The flight had already been delayed due to unfavorable weather conditions. To make up for lost time, Buddha Air officials decided to fly to Pokhara first. The flight number was changed, but the ground staff and flight attendants failed to inform the captain and co-pilot of the change.
Oops. Huh. Why would they have the information before the pilot?
That's what I want to know.
You know what, though? It was Buddha Air, so everybody stayed happy.
You're so wise. You're like a miniature Buddha covered in hair.
I know.
I'm so zen. It's all good.
All right. Woman in China went online to arrange an extramarital affair. Ooh, bad idea. Her Romeo turned out to be her father-in-law.
Just keeping the family.
Hey! My bad.
Wow. Whoopsie daisy.
Oops. Silly me.
Hey!
Oops.
Oops. I did it again, baby.
Yeah!
Oh, last story today, I believe. A leopard snuck into a house in India, climbed onto a bed, and watched television before dozing off. Authorities tranquilized the leopard with a dart pistol and carried it to a zoo.
Funny is, same thing happens to me every time I sneak into a house.
Tune in tomorrow. Same cat time, same cat channel.
You know what they said when they walked in the room? They said, wow, that's a really big cat. I think. Pretty sure. All right. That is our show today. Thank you, the listeners, for being here. All right. Tomorrow on the morning show, you've got Chuck Ritchie, you've got Paula and Sharon, and they do the community lowdown. Find out everything that's happening, all the details on Boo Fest, much, much more. Tomorrow beginning around 7:25 with Chuck. Other than that, tonight on the radio, it's a Tuesday. That means Dr. Jazz comes in. 3 hours of awesome jazz music takes you to 9 when we bring you the Soul Show, which is a couple hours, of course, of soul and Motown music. All happens right here on Northern Lights Public Radio tonight. And my sister with closing words.
I'm doing everything I can not to sneeze. And that's my life for today. That's what you're getting for parting news.
Don't sneeze.
Don't sneeze on the radio.
Oh, is it making you cry?
Oh, trying. Yeah, and
What, are you crying? You don't cry, all right? You keep your chin up.
Come on, Val.
Come on, keep your chin up.
Val.
Crying
Okay, put it
never
back
helped
down.
anybody do anything, okay?
Yeah.
You have a problem? You face it like a man.
What's crying get
Or
you
a woman.
anyhow? Nothing but the hiccups. There, you see?
That was Val's actual hiccup.
When you cry so hard, you hiccup.
All right. Wipe those tears away. Keep on listening to Northern Lights Public Radio. We'll keep you happy with some great music today. And, of course, those shows tonight. Dr. Jazz in at 6 o'clock. Keep on listening. 102.7 FM. We are KCHW. Say goodbye, Sister Val.
Goodbye. Be kind to one another today.
Yes.
Put that cookie down now!
Great job, team. Head back to base for debriefing and cocktails.
It's 9:01.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW-FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
And by Chewelah Flooring.
Chewelah Flooring at 214 East Clay.